Yeah, I mean, I'm just really proud of him because, you need your captain, you need your DPs to step up in the biggest games. And obviously, this game as an individual game was big for us. But just kind of when you look back at what the last maybe 2 weeks have looked like, and the group is needing a spark, and this is a guy who's playing almost every minute of every game. For him to come up and put the man of the match performance on the field tonight is exactly what the team needed. It was a captain's performance and a DP performance, and I guess he doesn't like the goal 100 because he just wants to blow right past it. So, I don't. And I mean, again, you guys are going to know this, but just as proud as I am as him scoring those goals is when he gave the ball away in the middle of the field and chased the guy back and won it back. Like that is showing and embodying what we're about and leading by example. Just a great job.
And then I just wanted to ask about late in the second half. It felt like the game was getting stretched and kind of back and forth, but guys like Brian Acosta, even Shaq Mohammed, Josh Bauer came in and were able to, like, at the right time, slow the game down and maintain possession. Were you happy with how you managed those last few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought that's what we talked about going into this game, was controlling the ball and trying to control the ball in our attacking half of the field, and that was regardless of the scoreline. But we thought that was an opportunity for us. And again, you see guys come into the game and have a very clear idea on why they're coming in the game and what they need to do. And credit to those guys for being focused for the whole time. And when their number is called, they understand exactly what role and responsibility they have, and they're executing it really well.
BJ, what stood out to you about Brian's performance? 7 saves tonight.
The big one at the end, and again, I also thought he was comfortable with the ball at his feet, and mixed it up between, kind of hitting long, kind of find and read, in that mid-range, playing short. I thought he had really good control of the game, and even, I thought caught a couple crosses or corners, that came in there that really, I would say, takes the momentum out of a game, and he's able to then get the game under control. So just a good performance by Brian.
And, this week you go on the road, you beat the New England Revolution, second in the East, and now you beat LAFC, a team that, the team that also made it to the Champions Cup semifinals. What does a week like this do just for, the confidence of the entire group going forward?
Yeah, I think it just continues to give us experiences, right? Like going on a road in a midweek to grind out a result, or coming home to an unbelievable crowd tonight, packed house, and obviously a big game. So all of these experiences that we go through this early in the season, all of the individual experiences, guys getting to play against really good players and in big games, it's all going to come back and help us as we continue to push, and we have to kind of get ourselves right back ready for Saturday. Against New York.
BJ, you were the team was under immense pressure from LAFC through stretches of the match, and they had a lot of shots. How much of that and those opportunities had to do with LAFC doing something right, or maybe some mistakes from the back line?
I think I wouldn't say mistakes from the back line. I think it's both. I think you got a really good team. I think you obviously getting up a goal is going to allow them to kind of push more numbers forward. I thought early on our defensive shape was good, and then by the end of the first half, it kind of we lost ourselves a little bit, and then able to kind of regroup in the second half. But that's a really talented team. Like, they're gonna push you back for periods of time, but I also think at the same time we pushed them back for long periods of time and kind of was able to control the game in that half.
This one makes you the first in the Supporters' Shield. I know you're focused on the game-to-game and day-to-day. I understand that. But was there a message there for the players after the game just to kind of, hey, we're first now?
No, we don't. That doesn't even enter into where we are. We know how early we are in the season. They get their day off tomorrow and, get recovered and look to try to put out the best squad we can on Saturday. That's the strength of this team. Again, I tell you, when we win, we go one notch up for 24 hours. We come right back. When we lose, we go down one notch to make sure that we feel the sting and learn from it. But we stay neutral until we can reach our ultimate goal.
BJ, it looks like the pressure was there pretty much the whole game with this team. The LAFC is a very good team. What do you stay with in terms of how the team behaved under so much pressure for so many minutes?
Yeah, I think this is one of the great strengths of this group is that they can play in different types of games. If we have the ball and we play, we can do that. We're comfortable doing that. Sometimes if we have to get pushed back a little bit and defend in our own half, we're comfortable doing that. And you see some counterattack balls or balls in behind that, I think Warren drew the foul that Jason played them in behind. So I think the versatility of the group and obviously the experiences that we've had in the first part of this season, especially through CONCACAF Champions Cup, give us a whole different toolkit depending on what the game asks from us.
I'm not sure if this is just a similar question or maybe the same, but you always talked about the identity of this team under your management. What on this particular game show much of that identity?
I think it's the combination of two things, right? So the identity is sort of the style that we want to play. And I think what you saw from a team tonight and what you've seen for a while now is a group that is really committed to trying to play through any phase of play, whether we're building with Brian, whether we're counterattacking, whether we're defending in low block, whether we're building high pressure. They're committed to being to work and compete. And then I think you look at the other side, which is like the mentality piece, right? How we act on and off the field. So not just how we play, but how we act. And that's a team that works for each other, whether it's tracking back in transition and Matt Corcoran sliding, blocking shots, picking up, another guy when he makes a mistake. So, we're about the collective there. And I think that's what we're starting to continue to get here is when you're marrying these two things, consistent play on the field and also consistent actions and behaviors.
BJ, kind of adding on to that, when it comes to just the production of goal scoring, obviously 2 goals tonight come from Hani Mukhtar from the set piece there. But the last couple of games and also just without Sam Surge being in the lineup, it seems that the way the team is playing is more of those direct balls on the ground from the inline back into the center of the box. Has that been more of a, I guess, key emphasis in training the last couple of weeks?
I mean, again, I think that kind of is the idea. When I say you see us scoring in different ways, whether it's attacking set pieces. The other night, Brian Acosta gets an attacking set piece. Hani obviously makes 2 great free kicks tonight. And for us, I think that's a constant for us is trying to get the ball kind of into the penalty box in that area. And then it's just how you finish. And I think that's a little bit of what the opponent's giving you and also where some guys are probably more comfortable finishing from in the penalty box. That's the job of the coaching staff is to put the players in the best positions to bring out their strengths. And we're constantly working on that.
And then adding on to that, when it comes to the comfortability, Brian Schwacke, those one save in the first half and that key save in the 88th minute, just making himself big in the box. Is that something that's kind of adding on to, I guess, one of those key components to his game, is just making himself bigger in the box later on in his career?
Yeah, I think, again, you have to become, if you want to be a really good goalkeeper, you have to be able to do everything, right? And he's going to continue to develop and grow. And sometimes it's making these sprawling saves in 1v1 situations. Maybe it's diving into the corner and parrying the ball away on a shot to the corner. Or it's controlling the game with your feet. If we want to be a top team, every player's got to be, continuing to develop in every aspect of the game to be top players.
BJ, you talked about it at the beginning with the injuries and Hani. With that in mind, do you feel like he's heightened his play here recently, especially today? How does he handle that? I mean, kind of the role changing with the injuries that you guys have had.
I think the way Hani goes about his work each and every day is totally professional. And I think tonight he had a point to prove, and he did it. And he's got great confidence in himself, and he prepares. But again, I give him a ton of credit for also all the work he does without the ball, leading our defensive line, tracking back, winning tackles, initiating transitions. So just a really complete performance tonight from Hani.
Was he aware that he needed 2 goals for 100?
I'm sure he was aware.
Hey, BJ. The team showed impressive clinical efficiency to strike on the right moments, but in the second half, LAFC pushed hard and put a lot of pressure in the box. Looking forward to maintaining the lead in the East, how do you evaluate the balance between the little finishing and having to absorb so much offensive volume against high-caliber opponents?
This is the game. The game was 3-1, and so the opponent is going to send guys in. So like this happens all the time. And I think, again, for us to continue to grow and continue to get better, we're going to have to learn to play with leads like this. That's the position we want to be in. And I thought the guys did a really good job tonight against a really good opponent of defending in our half for periods of time. And also at the same time, creating some dangerous, counterattacking options, generating some corner kicks. And even if we didn't create a transition that led to a chance on goal, it allowed us to now move our team up and keep the ball for a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the attacking half. So I thought the guys played really, really well. And yeah, when you have a 3-1 score at that point, and the team's going to send numbers, and then it goes to 3-2, and they're going to continue to send numbers. They don't have, they're trying to win just as hard as we are.
On top of the accumulated workload from this team schedule, you have to adjust the game plan on the fly tonight due to the physical setback during the match, facing a heavy hitting opponent pushing with everything in the final stretch. What was the key to maintaining tactical discipline and looking down such a massive victory?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, you saw, when we were hard to play through, then that's when we were having our best moments, and when we were able to push them kind of into wide areas and get numbers into wide areas. So I think for us, as we continue to grow and develop, we have to make sure that we're doing those things. And again, from there, that's also about how we can try to win the ball and create goal scoring chances.